What's up? It's your girl, Spicy Sugar, and you are here live with the House of Hip Hop Podcast Show.
It's live
with the House of Hip Hop Podcast Show.
Take my advice and spice and everything nice.
Spicy. This is the House of Hip Hop Bill. Spicy.
Greaseball activities. Greasy. Ram. Yeah. Damn. Tabasco. Most you niggas rhyming from the back hole. You don't keep it lit, you just chewing tobacco. Low with the chats in the cup without a scab. Take the shots, build a tab. We can play metal tag. The dope fist. Lean you like a fat nigga kicks. With chicks, put the stick to her ribs like cheese grits. I fix ya. You corny dude. That deal got you in the building, but you just a fixture. Mixture with green and brown on the rocks. Like the cooking channel, all I do is fire the pot. Get your jaw wired for guaps and wired and locked. And some getting wired so they don't get knocked. Him did it, exude with the bars, you rhyme bait. Your fruits leaving a bad taste like wine grapes. The bar lector, my sector run through the style. Bar fool, I smash like Mongool.
Yo,
True.
once them hammers get let off, you'll be flying through the sky like Pavel Androvich Chekhov. Get set it on and stepped on, I set it off and step off. Flip like Storm Shadow and kick your whole damn neck off, Duke. Your shit get shit wrecked when I wreck shop. Chrome to your dome, major blood when a tech pop. Let me stop with all that cartoon shit. You swashbuckling, I hit you with a harpoon, dick. Greasy Ahab, man, you tell one whale of a tale. Quit belly aching. I put some ginger ale on this rail and bang you with it. Take that cordless mic and hang you with it. The devil's hard at work, you up the flyest angel did it. Take the lingo, bilingual when I spit it, get the gringo. I flame you with the biscuit. Who am I, the stupid fly slang for rap misfit? Stupid guy, you to triangle that bitch shit.
God. God.
Walk with me.
On God.
Yeah.
Yeah, bitch, I styled on them. I'm coming for all those who fronted. Same shit, I've been on it. I see bitches try and clone it. I beat cancer, so how you an opponent? All that capping in their captions, you just rapping. Bitches must have thought I died. I kept that same vibe, that same 40 waistline, and a baseline to make fiends cry. I hide off this, make your nose drip, my type of shit. Zero nonsense, death dodged it. The quickest way to increase pressure is the blitz. Watch my aim, got 100 clipping who I'm gunning with a 6-man with 100 blicks. We move like we on a wanted list. This is who you fucking with. Bitches need rehearsing. I'm just versing from the surface, giving sermons in all churches with a pistol in all purses, living with purpose. On God, I ain't perfect.
On God.
One for the money, two for you bitches and foreign cars. Call you niggas bitches, cause fuck it, and if you are, you are. They ask if y'all fucking with me, I say it's hard to call. Been silent, except when I was shooting out my father's balls. Then I pause, you men are frauds. Every sucker event and ceremony, 10 awards. Lord, send the cross to the synagogue. Y'all niggas be trolling, laughing, I ain't grinning all. Nah, I seen it all, you ain't too big to fall. Big and tall shopping, I drop it while he in the mall. Remember before when I ain't grin at all? Well now I'm all teeth, Kool-Aid smile like I'm met Biggie Smalls. I'm a blue nose, y'all. I don't get litty, y'all. I'm aggressive, skill is impressive. I got witty bars. It's excessive when I get dressed. I hit the city, y'all. Y'all really saw. Oh God, you get wiggy washed. If honey put in the car, we hanging niggas on the wall. Oh God.
I had to fight a case that nobody knew. My new bitch bad and the body knew. All these guns old, but the shawty knew. I'm tryna kill this nigga, I ain't gon' lie to you. When I see you slipping, I'm gon' body. Fuck a witness, they gon' get body too. Heard your family poor, we gon' buy the suit. Casket paid for, we bring it all to you. CPN hitting, going by the coupe. I'm tryna get your sister, come swallow juice. Knowing I can kill you, don't that bother you? Your mama dead, I blame it on your father too. I can see what happens when he don't spend no time with you. You in and out of jail, you can't find the truth. I didn't have a pops, I went and got rich, nigga. You didn't have a pops, you landed on the strips, nigga. Your pistols don't make you harder, you bitch, nigga. I only bought the guns because I'm rich, nigga. See the difference? I can go and kill a nigga. And you the nigga that'll ask your man to kill a nigga. Can you kill him, please? 100 on your head, that's a mean plot. Hitters on the roof, that's a clean shot. We gon' take them bands in that mean watch. Body hit the concrete, that's a clean drop. I'ma catch a body, nigga, man down. Band full of killers with that drum sound. My killers on go, nigga, calm down. Show me where the spot, nigga, man down. No matter where I go, I'm the man now. Heard you a rat, keep your head down. I'ma catch a body, man down. I'ma catch a body, man down. Yo, put bags on head so niggas stop talking. Let up in his back, nigga, stop walking. You a pill eater, you know who I am, nigga. Don't let that Spanish bitch turn you in, nigga. I wanna see the blood leaking out his head. I want the doctor put him on that stretcher bed. I'm waiting for the doc to pronounce him dead. All them niggas with you won't be by your bed. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker. Bum ass nigga, you look good dead. I'm strapped up everywhere with my daughter with me. AR got that power, nigga, hold 50. 100 on your head, that's a mean plot. Hitters on the roof, that's a clean shot. We gon' take them bands in that mean watch. Body hit the concrete, that's a clean drop. I'ma catch a body, nigga, man down. Band full of killers with that drum sound. My killers on go, nigga, calm down. Show me where the spot, nigga, man down. No matter where I go, I'm the man now. Heard you a rat, keep your head down. I'ma catch a body, man down. I'ma catch a body, man down.
You know what they said, 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 you know
On the
what
way
they
to
said.
the plug, 6 a.m. got the mask and gloves. 7 a.m. we was loading the slugs. 8 a.m. we took all the drugs. Niggas turned the lights off, niggas snatching your ice off. Back on the block, came back with a nice cross. This is for the crook type, gotta rep the book right. Your verse came back soft, cause it don't cook right. You now rockin' with the true and living. Niggas wanna die for hip-hop like it's the new religion. So who wanna get baptized? My niggas be black guys. Fuck all these black
Nigga,
guys.
this is D-Block. Homicide, beef, we don't let it ride. Honestly, my brain ain't been the same since my mama died. Don 38 still underneath the long john. Nigga get hate, but his bitch love it when my song on. Clap at you, loop the block, then come back at you. That's when you realize that ain't shit that a rapper do. No parties, no poppin', no bub. I got my Glock out on the way to the plug. What time was it?
5 a.m. on the way to the plug. 6 a.m. got the mask and gloves. 7 a.m. we was loading the slugs. 8 a.m. we took all the drugs. Somebody tell hip-hop wolf I'm uncheckable. I got my gun in the club, it's undetectable. What I look like sending threats, press record, to post that shit on the internet. You know my body, boy, I'm too thorough. Southside Queens, I rep the Q borough.
Niggas calling me a legend. Just spoke to Biggie, he was calling me from heaven. No doubt that Black Mac 11 night, Ryder, Mike, and Devin. I'm trying to shoot 3 like my first name was Kevin. You in it for the fame, I ain't here for that. I don't post shit, niggas get the cheer for that. Yeah, you tough, but your niggas ain't prepared for that. They gon' rat, so they only get a year for that. That's why I'm dolo, all I need is my mask and my glove. Bitch pay me, fuck showing me love. What time was it?
5 a.m. on the way to the plug. 6 a.m. got the mask and gloves. 7 a.m. we was loading the slugs. 8 a.m. we took all the drugs.
Let's go.
Amazing Most. Privy. I'm so fucking happy 2020 done. 2020 guns. You either gon' get shot or get the shot. Invest or flip a stock. The real estate is where blacks is owning all the real estate. The corner stores is vacant. Let's start a corporation. City of gang members, politicians in the making. What you taking? 40 acres and a bottle of Douce. I'm living in the moment cause tomorrow is doomsday. Having church in the street, people's watching the goon pray. He went out like Big, before you die you just lose faith. Damn, that's a metaphor you probably never read before. Nope, I'm not a regular. I pop you like a register. Behind every computer is my competitor. Yeah, this ain't foreign, it's just something that you never saw. This that homegrown, I'm about to clone my own clone. But trapping on my own phone, but rapper get you known. Lil Dottie's trying to line you for your necklace cause you thought not wearing a condom was being reckless. I'm linking up with bottom at the top. That's a fact. That nigga riding if his problem's all it's not. You know the play, he gon' fire when I stop. Take cover, reload, the bodies in the box.
Welcome to 2021, I know you hear us from them slums. We got bullets in our rhymes, you can hear us when we dump. So clearly we the ones, that's why we win and got silencer for challenges. Thinking they could challenge us, so round them up, the sound is unmatchable. That's a warning to these rapper dudes. You ain't learned by now, I'll take them back to school. Classes in session, I'm the teacher, I'm the preacher, I'm the reaper. You suckers is dirt like old reefer, turn and speak up. If niggas ain't speaking up, I wanna hear them loud and clear. Nigga, ain't no easing up. We was up, amazing, don't fuck around and neither do I. We put your bitch on a plane and get a flew to Dubai. You know the rules we apply, we all do for the pies. I got enemies, so I would never shoot in the sky. You know the vibe.
I'm so fucking happy 2020 done. Loading bullets in my 2020 guns. Paid my shooter with them 2020 funds. More Privy and Boys Life
in 2021.
Let's go. I'm so fucking happy 2020 done.
Say what? Loading bullets in my 2020 guns. Say what?
Paid my shooters with them 2020 funds. More Privy and Boys Life
in 2021.
Let's go.
I'm so fucking happy 2020 done. Loading bullets in my 2020 guns. Pay my shooters with them 2020 funds. More Privy and Boys Life in 2021. I'm so fucking happy 2020 done. Loading bullets in my 2020 guns. Pay my shooters with them 2020 funds. More Privy and Boys Life in 2021.
We all been broke before. Sold weed hard and raw. Made big bags turn into little bags on tour. Took it block to block, took it door to door. If laying down ain't a blessing, why getting up is a chore. Special shout to every dude that took their old self to war and won happy. Cause happy is a new hardcore. Sometime I lose the vision, trapped in my obscurity. And property, the water sees my surety as my cells and cells. My plans on plantations. Like every day I die living in this damn nation. Like every day I die living in this damn nation. With conditional release, that don't mean emancipation. And only when I'm done will the tale be told. A product of red, black, and green, I'm gold. Ancestors gave excellence, today I hold the world my receipt. You're convinced I'm sold. Looking to the sky, watching trains go by. Can't even deny watching trains go by. Blowing my high, watching trains go by. Why don't you get on? Go somewhere.
Yo, hey yo, I got it in my pocket, got you open like a locket. You like it, I rock it, then take off like a rocket.
lock it for God to watch it. The kid Dres be prolific. My father fed me flyness and instructions were specific. Told me take it up a notch, give a kick in the crotch. Hip hop came to tell you you're not woke cause you watch. Ain't arrived to shuck and jive, I rose to rise. So middle finger to Trump from the Central Park 5. Cause every color knows my mother be a lover alike. She said the world's a better place whenever good people unite. And I'm like, be that it might. So every child be akin to saying no more judging brothers by the color of their skin. To be healthy, to be wealthy, to be wise, recognize. Wouldn't grab the mic and mumble next to rise, exercise. Thumbs up to every family. Can't be overstated, middle finger to Trump. From every kid he separated. One time for the brand new day, your sunshine. Two times for accepting the change, a new sign. Three times I'ma hope you free to see time. Four times bless the life I live is all mine. One time for the brand new day, your sunshine. Two times for accepting the change, a new sign. Three times I'ma hope you free to see time. Four times bless the time, 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 bless the time.
We're dealing with the effects of our historical inheritance. Racism. The institution exists in every industry. Structural inequalities, joblessness, poverty, fragility of the black family, disinvestment in public education. The effects. We the ones that rise like the sun, exemplify fly, sound like none. Yo.
Hey, we come to elevate it, we come to elevate it, we come to elevate it. You leave them devastated.
It's a fact on both sides. I'm blacker than yak and Maybachs and brown sugar, Similac, bro.
Sip the celebrated, a sip the celebrated. The pressure never dated.
Yo, Chuck. You share a leader's lessons, that be your sinner's blessings. Before the woo was you that told us to protect our essence. We're flavor bombing sessions, a bridge for adolescents. Unwrap the gift of gab that proved the present was our presence. Be where the boy's not, let me make it clear. Boy cop, boy shot like the buck stops there. And the fact you owe dope, reparations manata. And middle finger to Trump, from Putin and Melania.
Here it comes, original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums.
See the rest cannot be contested. So post like you post, leave no vote suppressed.
I told him not to trust it, told him not to trust it, told him not to trust it. How can they not discuss it?
It's a beast that won't bequeath peace. Middle finger to Trump from the COVID deceased.
It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter, does it? I can't trust shit.
Yo, Chuck, get the Visine, hit him with the high beam. Wake up to a nightmare, make you wonder why I dream. Marks at parole, they're gold for black men. Take the gun, take the vote out of every black hand. As a world we move together, if I build you climb. Every parent casts a vote that keeps your children in mind. In a line with divine, no crime not feeling us. We'll deal with attitude, just stop killing us.
Here it comes, original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums. I hate, it's a terrible taste of fate. Waste energy, blame it on every face, but they don't see a mirror. Get advice to hear you, you're genius, Dres. You got them getting nearer, they gotta dig you by now. Cause you be showing them how to go better, get better, be better. Proud to get together, I'm out, Dres. Peace, my brother. Here it comes, original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums. Original digital native tongues. The sound of the barrio in the slums. To bring it together for iller sums. We grip it and hit you like Dilla drums.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl again, Spicy Sugar, and we are back at the House of Hip Hop. We just got out of a dope artist mix by our featured DJ of the night. Right now, can you see the smile on my face? Who's happy? Because we have such a dope guest this episode. Legendary MC, half of the group Black Sheep. Round of applause for my guest, Dres, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Definitely honor. Appreciate being here.
It's an honor for me because not only have your music pretty much outlined my teenage years, but I
All right.
have been able to enjoy you, per se, and your music on many different levels. I am what I call unreformed festival head. I
All
don't want to be reformed.
right. All right.
So I have seen you on so many various platforms, so many different, from park jams to summer stages. Um, so I have a great grasp of your discography and everything, but we're not going to
That's
condemn
fair.
the ones that don't. So
All
we're
right.
going to
No doubt.
just, right, we're just
We're
going to
gonna
bring them
we're
up
gonna
to
give them some
speed. That's
homework.
right. That's right. We're going to just bring them up to speed real quick so that we can get into
Right.
everything that you got going on. I only have
Oh,
one formality on my show, and since this is your first time, you're not immune. My only tradition on the show is when you first come on, I have you to introduce yourself to the people.
hmm. Okay. Well, check it out, everyone. Right now, you are listening to the one and only Black Sheep Dres, and came a long, long, long way just to be here right now to be able to kick it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And spicy sugar, and just to kind of let y'all know what I've been into since Wolf and Sheep's Clothing would be me
Yes.
taking you from being on major labels to have my own label, which is called Pool of Genius, releasing independent projects such as From the Black Pool of Genius, AWM, Novocaine. I did a project with Jerobi of Tribe Called Quest under the
Yes.
moniker of Evertan. Tan is native, spelled backwards. I
Yes.
released a project last year called Tortured Soul. And I have an upcoming project that'll be released this summer um, called D&D. And D&D is very, very special.
Yes.
That I had the opportunity to meet Dilla's mom and her husband, and they blessed me with the opportunity to go through Dilla's personal catalog and folders and create a
Oh,
project. So
wow.
D&D stands for Dres, and I have a project that'll be out this summer that's entirely produced by Jay Dilla and has featured artists such as Bun B, Freeway, uh, to my man Jay Sands, to CeeLo Green, to
Ooh,
Chuck D, to
yes.
got Source Money on it. My man Chi Ali, Myson, got Del the Funky Homo Sapien. I mean,
Ow.
I got Lil D from Coney Island. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a special project. My man Alexander Simone, who's the grandson of Nina Simone, is singing a
Right.
little bit on it. The project
Mhm.
is an amazing project that I can't wait for the people to get a chance to kind of peep it because you'll get a chance to kind of hear me in a few different ways you've never heard me as well.
Yeah.
Entire project produced by Jay Dilla in 2021 that is going to be pretty special. The name of the project is called No Words. And the reason it's called No Words is that a lot of times, especially as a elder artist, you know, we speak a lot to the golden era, and
Mhm.
the younger cats, you know, like they're kind of finicky, and there's a little divide right now. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of
Mhm.
younger cats kind of, I think, just in lieu of them doing their homework, they'd rather say, "Nah, don't mess with them older cats, them older beats," when they really should be doing the knowledge and knowing that they stand on the shoulders of greatness. And
Right.
so, you know, when you say golden era to them, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just something that you're saying. This is the project that you hand to them. You know, it's
Right.
called No Words because I could show you better than I could tell you. So this is the project
Hey.
that you hand to a youngster, and it puts him in the space of having headphones on the subway and going somewhere that a train can't even take you. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's where we're from with it. So if you're
Yeah.
from there, you know, you kind of get a chance to revisit where you're from. And if you're not from there, you get introduced to a place that a lot of people talk about. So make sure your eyes is out for D&D, Dilla and Dres, No Words this summer.
Yes, that is wonderful because I had all plans to touch on all of that because
All right.
I didn't know, that you actually I didn't know that whole thing about I knew that, about the Dilla and Dres project. I did not know that you actually got to go in with Dilla's
Yeah.
mom and go through his personal files. How
Yeah.
was
It was
that?
pretty cool.
How was
It
that?
was really like an amazing experience. It set me kind of on this on this kind of really organic, wholesome hip hop mission, if you would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I met Dilla's mom the year before last at a show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like in Chicago. I still do a lot of shows
Yes.
all over the world, really. And so I'm like in Chicago, cats was like, like, yo, you want to meet Dilla's mom? And out of respect, I was like, like, yeah, like I didn't have the relationship with him like that. And like a lot of the rest of the native tongue did. A lot of the native tongue were really close with him.
Yeah.
And but I personally didn't. But to meet his mom was an honor, just out of respect, you know what I'm saying? And so they bring her backstage and I'm talking to her, meeting her husband, Tony. And then like a month later, I had a show in Puerto Rico and I looked to the right of the stage and who's standing there but Dilla's mom and her husband. So after the set, I go straight to them and they let me know they got a house out there. They invite me back. She's gonna cook and they got some DJs coming by to spin in the yard. That's exactly where I wanted to be. So, I'm hanging out with them for the night. We're talking. I'm in the kitchen with her while she's cooking. And I'm getting this firsthand information about her son from his mom's. And we're really just kicking it all night, bonding and eating and enjoying each other's conversation. And turns out her husband knows my mom in North Carolina. Like it was just all just like, wow, like what? So at the end of the night, yeah, right. At the end of the night, they felt comfortable letting me know that they just got back a lot of the rights and masters under the umbrella of the estate, and that they were looking for things to do with the compositions, and asked me would I be interested in putting something together. So from that point, it literally began this thing. First of all, I was like, yeah, because they could have asked anybody in the whole world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they wound up asking me. So I was just beyond flat, especially if they had seen me rock a few times. They kind of knew what I brought to the table. I really felt honored. And so I just started going through every interview that Dilla did, like everything I could find on YouTube. And there's a million things. And just started meeting, like just by chance, friends of his. Like, I met his best friend, Frank Nick, out in California on the Humble. Like just all kinds of things started happening. I got cool with Mike Ross, who's the owner of Delicious Vinyl, who was the first label that he was working for.
Yeah.
And like, they're sending me beats that I ain't even hear yet. And so like, so I took all of 2020 for me was me putting this project together. And it was almost like the world had to slow down as well. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of had to sit down for a second. But for me, it was me, in my creative process and finishing up something that I started at the beginning of the year. And so, I'm now at the point where I finished mixing and I haven't mastered it yet. But as I was finishing mixing, it was right before the election. And one of the songs I had did was called Dilla Drums with Chuck D.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was mixing it, which we just heard.
Yeah.
But I realized when I was mixing it that the song would be stronger before the election than after the election. And, as it spoke to the times, as hip hop really is supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So, so I called our people's MJ, who's just amazing. And I let her know, I was like, yo, MJ, I got this record. I was like, it's not even mastered yet, but I'd like to do a true leak of it. Like if you would, could you send it to your entire network and just let them know that I'm releasing this with a voting initiative. I want everybody to get out and vote, but peep this new project that's coming. And so MJ sends it around and it kind of took this life of its own. Everybody kind of was digging it. And that is such a true leak. You can't buy it anywhere.
That's right.
It's not even mastered. You have to be gifted it. Somebody had to give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so it's taking this cool life of its own. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And and it's a dope introduction to this project that I'm going to be releasing this summer.
Absolutely. I was very fortunate to be one of those people on the list. So when I saw it come in, I was like, what? So, I had to hurry up and download it. And then, of course, I went and listened to the rest of it, which I'm not going to say nothing about, but wait. Okay?
All right.
Wait. But that was such a great, on point, time sensitive project that you and Chuck D did. How was it? I know you guys have worked with each other throughout the years. How was
that?
It?
Actually, that was actually the first joint we've ever done.
No.
Yeah. I was, but and he was in another state, so
okay,
the times are a little different where we not together in the studio, but but we were still able to kind of really.
How did all
approach
of this time go by
like
and y'all two did not get on anything before now? But you know what? Everything happens in divine timing.
This is true. God is never late.
Never late.
No
Never
doubt.
late. And it was such a great and poignant message from the both of you, because let's be honest, the both of you are seen as, you know, OGs of the game. So for
All right.
you guys to be able to step up and be addressing what's relevant right now, like our legends move faster than any of these young boys did when it came
Oh,
to
without
all of this.
question.
And
Right.
that's something I want to get into
That's what
with you. Yeah, because our, you know, OGs of the game understood immediately, you know, that this is the time to capture, whether you're political or not, this is the time to capture. What do you think happened with the younger generation? Do you think they just opted out, or?
Mm, um, for some, I mean, you know, like in all actuality, you know, like there were certain things that were portrayed in the music that I think became prevalent,
Mhm.
such as to not knock someone's hustle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The music industry became much more of the business aspect than the artistic aspect. It
Very true.
became much more of a hustle. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, you know, and any critique became you stopping me from you knocking my hustle.
Yeah.
Any critique
Hating.
became you
You
hating.
hating.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, so a lot of the bars that we had in, you know, implemented, you know, they began to diminish, and you know,
Mm.
at the risk of being, you know, viewed in a certain light. But we gotta kind of we gotta take that back, because at
Yes.
the end of the day, that's, you know, like we gotta speak truth to power. We gotta keep doing what we
Mhm.
do. The music is here for a reason,
Yeah.
and right now it's become it's kind of bugged, because on a certain note, I totally respect the younger generation's business aesthetics. You
They
know what I'm
got
saying?
it.
Whereas these
When
kids,
the
you know,
hustle
yeah,
is,
yeah,
yeah, they got it.
they understand
They
branding. They
understand it.
understand, you know, having an LLC situated by the time, you know, they're 20,
Entrepreneurship,
21, 22.
yes.
They about their business.
Yes.
But artistically, we were, you know, eons beyond them, you know, at the same age. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? To say that, you know, like Pac wasn't this older dude, Biggie wasn't this
Right, you
older
gotta
dude.
understand, these
You
guys
know what I'm
died
saying?
young.
Right.
These weren't old dudes.
Rakim, you know, in his prime's not this older dude. Run
Right.
DMC's, they're not these older cats. You know what I'm saying? These cats is in
They
their
were the
20s
same age as a lot of
making
these young
classics.
boys when they
Right.
first
Right.
started.
Same with a Chuck
They were
D.
your,
You know what I'm saying?
you guys
I
were,
mean,
yeah. Mhm. They were right
you know,
there.
so
Same thing.
right. So, you know, so youth cannot be the excuse of
Mhm.
neglecting the responsibilities that the music holds. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
And
That's so true.
and the music does hold responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like it's,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we also have to understand that there's also powers playing against um the unification of our community.
Speak
You know
on
what I'm
it.
saying?
That's right.
Once prison became big business, and there's structures above our heads, so these structures have intent on keeping the privatized prisons uh full. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna play to anything that lends itself to you going to prison. You know what I'm saying? And the thing, and people like a native tongue, or the voices, the varieties of voices that might have been in the back of your head to tell you something you might have needed, have kind of been drowned
No.
out
Right.
at with all of this cookie cutter stuff. Like it's
Mhm.
become monotonous. The music's become monotonous,
Yeah.
though the business aesthetics are much more powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a time that we kind of recut everything and introduce the diversity
That's
that
right.
hip hop is supposed to have. It's not that these songs out there don't belong. Yeah, hip hop's always had various types of songs, but it's
Mhm.
also always had diversity where you could have a KRS coming behind, you know, saying Mobb Deep, coming behind, you know, saying Chuck D and Public Enemy, coming behind, you know, EPMD, or, you know, Ra, whatever the case was. There was this diversity that let us build off of all of it,
Mhm.
not just, you know, right now I feel like we get cold French fries every day. You
Every
know what I'm
day.
saying?
Yes.
And like, yeah, there's no steak in the scene, there's no potatoes, there's no vegetables, there's no salad, you know.
No.
So let's conscious of what we're taking into our body and mind,
Yeah.
and making sure that, you know, we get a little bit of the variety that our bodies and lives need.
Yeah.
And so speaking to, you know, what it is, we all, it's all about hip hop's take the word hip hop and you flip it backwards, it's people. Hip hop's
People.
always been about like-minded head. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Word up. It's all about us, the like-minded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's start speaking with each other and to each other and for each other,
Yeah.
as opposed to, talking about, I. It's much bigger than I. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let's get back to what it is. And a lot of times too, one last thing I want to point out is, cats get caught up in thinking that if they start speaking things that matter, that they're taking away something from their artistic moment.
Go
And
ahead, say it, because I sure enough was gonna go
that's
ahead.
bull. Yeah, like the most soulful thing you could be is someone that's speaking for your people and for the
right.
times. Hip hop has its Curtis Mayfields. Hip hop has its Marvin Gaye's. Hip hop has all of these things that are so soulful. Barry White and and the South Soul Orchestra. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like it's got all these things that are powerfully soulful.
Yes.
And all of those artists I just named, they spoke to the times. You know what I'm saying? And they will live on and on and on, you know what I'm saying, just for that very reason. And hip hop has the same power, you know what I'm saying? Yo, let's get ourselves together. Let's start looking at each other as brothers and sisters. It's unfortunate how we quick to hurt each other, but we don't hurt the people that hurt
That are hurting
us.
us. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to say on a physical level as much as I'm saying us moving together creates a power structure.
That's right.
And we see it in our vote. When we vote together, look at what we achieve when the black vote comes into the picture. Now imagine that same scenario in other scenarios. You know what I'm saying? That
right.
we are a microcosm of power in that scenario. We need to be a microcosm of power in other scenarios.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? We already see what is, but we got to stop looking at each other like each other's like we're not allies.
We're not allies, like we're each other's enemy.
Right. It's far from the case. It's never been about a north, south, east, west, none of that. We all together, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it doesn't matter where you sit. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
We're together. And just like our votes were together. Our votes didn't care where we was coming from. You know what I'm saying? And look how powerful they were. And and that's the reason why they've suppressed our vote. That's the reason why we couldn't vote. Because it builds to a power structure that's not theirs.
Right.
So hip hop's the same.
It's the
same. You know what I'm saying?
same.
Hip hop's the same.
It's the same.
Right. We gotta start looking, especially now that we got millionaires in the game.
Yes.
Shit, it ain't about what a millionaire can do. It's about what 20 millionaires can do.
That's
you know,
right.
but we gotta see that in each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's really about. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the hip hop that I'm bringing to the table. That's what I'm speaking to, and that's the energy I'm bringing, and that's what's missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it doesn't, and that's not about flossing. That's not about the chain or the car. Yeah, none of that. Because what I'm bringing is much flyer. You know what I'm saying? Much flyer than all of that. All of that can't stand next to what to what someone that knows what they're doing is bringing.
That's right.
So so let's get to that space in hip hop. Let's get right.
Yeah.
And let's
go ahead, Twin.
and let's also take from the younger generation's business aesthetic.
Yes.
Because our generation didn't have it.
We didn't
what I'm saying?
that.
Our generation did a lot of sacrificing because of their lack of business aesthetics, because like we were some of the first ones to kind of get this opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the kids have taken the opportunity to a greater space. I salute them for that. You know what I'm saying? I salute them. But the music has to incorporate their business aesthetics.
Yeah.
The music has to be just dope as their business aesthetics. And when that happens, then we,
That's so true. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, because the spirit is definitely aligned. Because my last episode's guest was Speech of Arrested Development. And we were talking. Yeah, we were talking about the same thing. And I actually called him a DeLorean artist. And he immediately knew what I meant, because you know what I'm saying? Because it was like the speaking to your people, coming with the hip hop, but having that message. They came way early, before when people like the Native Tongues and Common, when he was Common Sense and all these, they
Right.
weren't in style then. You were talking
Right.
nonsense then. Okay. So now we're
But
at
again,
back at an era where people are grasping it 20 years later, but they are grasping it now.
right. Right.
And like you said, it's absent when it comes to the newer music. A lot of the newer artists, a lot of them do have things to say. I'm finding every day, tracks that I'm like, oh, he's
Right. Real talk.
actually not
Right.
talking about lean and popping pills. He's actually saying that, saying something
Same.
great. So there are some, but they're drowned out by the commercial standard of what I call buffoonery and nonsense.
Yeah. No
you know,
question.
which
But
is
like
which
I
is
said,
a
is
lot
an
of things. The factors is that, like you said, it is a predisposition. It's a setup. You know, they set us up and they use hip hop the most. I'm gonna just say it. They use hip hop the most as the biggest weapon, because at the end of the day, the culture is the one that sets everything. We set the trends, we set what's hot and what's not, clothing. The hip hop community sets that.
right.
And so, if a lot more of the younger people understood how powerful they are with that, and they have the hustle and flow with it,
Right.
they
Right.
wouldn't be able
Right.
to stop any of us, old, young, in between. We would be unstoppable.
They have to be able to differentiate what they need to say as opposed to what they want them to say. You know what I'm
And what
saying?
needs to
It-
be said, because
right.
that was
Right.
a whole third class
Yeah.
right there. You
No
know.
doubt. No doubt. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what needs to be said is really what they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like, you see a lot of them kind of expressing the sentiments that are expected of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
that slot.
Yeah.
And and that slot, my word, like, you know, it's the slot where you do okay, but so many diminish as a result of,
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
And
right.
and it doesn't have to be that. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like
No.
like we're powerful on our own. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We got to
And no
recognize it.
one man can take away from another man, no, another man's
Oh,
hustle. You
yeah,
only give that away. No
yeah,
one can take that.
right.
So I feel like these jewels are the things that they need to be reaching out to our OGs for. And the
Oh,
OGs need to be
especially
reaching down
they need
and
to be reaching back as
understanding
well.
that grind. They got it.
Right,
Let me tell you, my
right. Real
generation
talk.
was the last generation probably that got by on a city job or a state,
Mm,
position, being a
right.
mailman or the
Mm,
bus driver.
right.
Nowadays, right now, you could work 20, 30 years for those people and have nothing to show for it, because at
For
one
real.
time the union was the only way that us black and brown people had any job security.
Mm-hmm. Real
If
talk.
you didn't learn anything about this COVID thing, none of that matters, me, huh?
All right.
None of
That's
it.
real.
None of it. So these
That's real.
young people understand it, and they understand
Right.
about going out there, getting that bag for themselves, having their
Creating their
names.
brand, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no doubt. They totally understand how to
They get it.
monetize something without question.
I
Without
admire
question.
them. I admire them with that. The only
But I
thing
want to.
our generation kind of locked down in terms of that was the illegal hustle.
Oh,
They
sure, for
got
sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had heart in a whole different direction,
there you
no
go.
doubt. But just to say, but ultimately though, but there's one thing I hope that they do grasp, and I'm leaning on the older cats as well. The younger generation is quick to be like, yo, I don't really mess with them older dudes. Yo, I don't really mess with that kind of beat or this, that, and the other. And like they're doing themselves a disservice on a certain level by not knowing their history to the degree that it makes them great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's right.
like I'm the product of of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I come from generations of greatness, and
you go.
and you do too.
You do too.
So you don't deny that. You stand on the shoulders of that.
That's right.
And beyond that, you don't set the precedents that I don't mess with them older cats, which hip hop seems to do a lot. You know, the young eats his elders, which and we're the only ones that's doing it. And you know what I'm saying, we know why. But just say it, ultimately, the younger eat its elders on some. I don't mess with them older cats, not taking into consideration that in 2021, attention spans are really short. In 5 years, you're the older cat.
Thank you.
And you're setting the precedents for the cats under you to not mess
That's
with you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. In 5 simple years, I've been doing it over 25 years.
Yeah.
A lot of these cats ain't gonna get that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In 5 years, you the older cat. And now you're setting the precedents where a younger cat's looking at you like, yeah, I don't mess with them older cats. They learned that from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You got to set the precedents that, you know, like, yo, let me introduce you to my inspirations.
Right.
Let me introduce you to the people that made me run around. Let me put you on to what I know to be dope and I built off of coming up. Absolutely. Make sure that, you know, the people that inspire you to be, bring them out on tour. Make sure, do a record with them, jump on a hook, whatever. But you give back and you set the precedents that you always show love to them.
That's right.
So that the younger cats under you look at you as someone to always show love to.
That's right.
And that they reach back, bring you out, this, that, and the other. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we need to be moving as a community, not the opposite. And to an older cat, you know what I'm saying? Like an older cat to get bitter, that is not what it was. When,
and then you're tarnishing your own legacy by looking like this bitter old man or this bitter old woman, you know?
Right. Either you show them the difference, a la D&D type of situation, where you show them the difference, because telling the kid is not the same as showing the kid.
That's right.
Either you show them the difference, or, you know what I'm saying, you build with them the difference.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm
so
saying?
true. And I use the example of, you know, because I use the example of a multi-generational artist like Biggie or like Pac. You know, old people love Biggie and Pac. The younger people love Biggie and Pac. But if they didn't understand the music that came before them, if they didn't understand, if Biggie didn't understand El DeBarge, One More Chance would never be here.
Right.
Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no doubt.
Like, you have to understand the music that came before you in order to reinvent it, you know, maybe rejuvenate it even. You know, we were in an era where, Jay-Z brought out Michael Jackson in Summer Jam.
Oh, please. You know?
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean,
and
you know,
that
like,
was paying homage. You understand? All of the artists that were featured in these concerts, not even Summer Jam, all of them, they had a segment where they brought out the people that they admired or the people that they took songs from, or that was an automatic part of it because it was part of the lesson. It was part of the lesson. And I can go back and forth all day with young people right now. I could play music and be like, where's that song from? And they're like,
I have no idea, you know?
No clue.
And it's not that they're wrong for not knowing that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like, you know, it just hadn't been introduced to them. It's new music to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to stop looking at them like they're wrong, but they also have to start looking at it like, you know what I'm saying?
We're not too much out of touch. We're not that far out of touch where we can't teach you nothing.
Right.
You know?
On no day. I mean, shoot, on no day. But just to say, but ultimately they have to have a thirst that's beyond getting paid.
Yes.
That's beyond it being a hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have to have a thirst and you know, for this. You know, like it is a culture. It is a lifestyle. It is a walk to it.
Yeah.
It is some integrity that's involved. You know what I'm saying?
There are
like,
rules
you know,
to
like,
this. Look, there's rules to this game.
Without question.
You know?
We got love for sounding like no one.
Yeah.
They get love for sounding just like someone.
Like everybody else. Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah.
You know, you know, like, you know,
so
but that has to do with them mimicking what they deem a successful blueprint.
Success. That's right. And that's a great segue to what I was going to ask you next, because it seems like this in this day and age, not the generation, but just in this current time, hip hop is seen more of a paycheck than it is kind of a lifestyle thing when it comes to a lot of the new artists. How do you feel like that's affected hip hop? Oh, you froze up a little bit.
You know what? You froze up on me. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's okay. I was saying that with the influx of artists that kind of has entered the hip hop scene as a business, not really encompassing the lifestyle as a business. How do you feel like that affected the overall, status of hip hop right now?
Well, there's a lot of white noise in hip hop right now.
Yeah.
And I mean that to say, like, like when something becomes easily accessible, then it loses a little bit of its specialness.
That's right.
Like if everyone feels like they can do it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And some people have been successful at having never done it before and then profiting from it. Then, then that creates a current of cats trying to mimic, that, if I can get this to go viral, if I can literally buy views or this, that, and the other, I can create a scenario that might catapult me or my hustle
to where I want it. Absolutely.
So, so real artists have to cut through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, and have to be able to differentiate themselves from that, and let the people see the difference.
Yeah.
So, so sometimes when that's the case, it's like being in a room full of cats, you know what I'm saying? And, like you might be the dopest cat in that room, but there's so many cats between you and the door that, and though you might be on your way, there's a certain amount of people that are going to get through that door before you.
Yeah.
So, and that has nothing to do with you. And, and really has nothing to do with them. They just happen to be standing by the door.
It's the machine.
Right.
It's the way the machine is running.
Right. So, so like I said, there's a lot of white noise right now. So more than anything, what we need is the support of our community.
Yes.
Our community has to be able to look into the room and differentiate the cats that are offering cold French fries and the cats that are offering, a well-done steak, what I'm saying, with potatoes. And,
yes, with all the trimmings.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they're in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but we're accepting cold fries because it's by the door.
Yeah.
And sometimes
and they can crank them cold fries out fast.
Like
they
that.
Can crank them out fast. Yeah.
Yeah. They literally don't even change the track.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Those cats are in there. The cats are in the room that got something for you. But when you want a steak cooked next to some French fries, sometimes you gotta wait a little longer. Sometimes you gotta look a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes a little bit more work to season it. What have you. But it's worth it. And your body appreciate it, your mind and your soul appreciate it.
Absolutely.
As opposed to what it is.
Yeah.
So in essence, though, we learn from both. We learn from each other.
That's
right.
What I'm
saying?
That's
The older artist is gonna make them a doper artist, and the younger artist is gonna help the older artists, have a retirement program, and
that's right.
things thereof.
401k for hip hop. For hip hop retirees. Let's go.
Things that, but they gotta understand too. Like we're all quick to judge. Like what they're offered out of the game, we weren't offered. You know what I'm saying? The branding and the association and affiliation with various brands and sponsorships and partnerships, none of that existed. We come from a place where hip hop, we only heard hip hop on the radio on the weekends at night. That was it.
That was it.
That was it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the cats that are benefiting now, they don't even realize that that's where they came from.
They don't realize what we had to go through to even hear the music.
Right.
You know, if you didn't
Right. I
have
remember the
two,
first time I
if
heard
you
a
didn't
beat
have
on
the two
television.
TVs with the two dials, and you could turn to that odd channel and get Video Music Box or
You
Bobby
know what I'm saying?
Simmons.
Right. You know? And yeah, like, you know, like we came from a place where we literally had to grow this, you know,
Yeah.
and everything that came with it, you know, and there was a lot of us doing whatever it took to get into the room. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
And they take being in the room for granted.
Well, do you think that, the emergence of um being uh being able to put out and produce and manufacture
As
your
today,
own.
there's a different hip hop joint coming out every day. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, you know, if I wanted to, I can get literally finish this interview and have a joint out on the internet in the next hour. You know,
Absolutely.
and you know, there was no one for us to even play it for back then. If you couldn't get it on the radio and this and the other, so a younger cat has to understand, you know, like there was so much work that went into them
Yeah,
being able to be
yeah,
successful.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a little
And
segment
that
when I
come
was.
and that comes
Go
with
ahead, sorry.
some love.
Go ahead,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, no, I was just saying that comes with you know, needing to you know, to turn around and just salute the cats behind them. Just
Yeah.
say thanks. And sometimes thanks is like, yo, you know, let me rock a joint with you. Yo, come open up a show for me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Right.
you know, and that's nothing. Like that's
Right.
nothing. And they're setting the example that they want to set, you know.
That's so true. We
Definitely.
was talking on a different interview. I was talking with Fredro Starr, and we were talking about how, in order to authenticate music in our day, we didn't have all of these systems and everything. You definitely couldn't get
Right.
things to the radio stations easily. So what did you do? In order to authenticate whether this was fly or not, you took it to the car, to your homeboy's car that had the booming
No doubt.
system, or the drug that was on the corner that
No
you
doubt.
knew had the new Benz. You
All
took
right.
your thing to them and made them play it in the car. And if
Right.
it bumped in the car, it was legit.
It was ready.
It was legit.
No doubt.
And those are
No doubt.
the raw, authentic moments that I really do miss in hip hop. But at the same time, I love the fact that we are now at a place where we can operate independently, and you don't have to sell your soul for these record deals anymore. And
Real talk.
so how has the transition been like for you? You've come from that era, and now you've gone and you have your own. How is that for you now?
Yo, on a real, like, I feel like one of the luckiest people in the entire world.
Mhm.
I've been Dres a black sheep longer than I haven't at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right.
you know, like I've literally, you know, made a living, you know, traveling the world, performing, which is really people were just paying for my presence.
That's it.
And for me, you know what I'm saying, putting out projects independently, you know what I'm saying, merch independently, doing various things that, you know, like that are my own, like, you know, definitely slide by poolofgenius.com, which is my website. You can check out independent projects I put out, get merch. You can see a bunch of videos you might not have seen, the things I've been doing over the years. And, you know, it might not be on the platform where it's in everybody's face, but it's not on the platform where it's in nobody's face. You know, I've been able to successfully navigate a career, even though I might not be in everybody's face. You know, I've got a contingency of cats that are very much true to what I do and support what I do. And, you know, I've been putting out projects pretty consistently. You know what I'm saying? I've got about 4 or 5 independent projects that cats might not know about.
Well, my next
But I
question was
stand
gonna
by,
be
you know,
that I don't want people to think that after engine you wasn't doing anything. This man has
exactly.
been busy. Why don't you quickly just run down some of the projects that you had going on?
There's stuff like the Short Shot Redemption, a solo album,
Yes.
8WM/Novocaine solo album, From the Black Pool of Genius, a solo album, Tortured Soul, which I released a year before last, which is a solo album. And then there's the Evertan project. Evertan, again, is native spelled backwards.
That's right.
And that's the album I did with me and Jerobi from the Tribe Called Quest. and it's got a ton of dope features on.
Salute
And
to
you know,
Jerobi.
like
That man is busy.
no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. He stays on his grind as well.
Yes.
And you know, this was the project that came out right before the last Tribe album, where everybody kind of got a chance to hear Jerobi. You know, like the Everton project was definitely him getting himself together for that Tribe project.
Nice.
And you know, big shout to Jerobi. Like we did an amazing project. I hope we get a chance to do another one. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so there's definitely work out there. And then it's just singles. I've done some singles for Tommy Boy. I've done a few jazz collaborations. One with my dude Jaleel Shaw.
Oh, nice.
You know, yeah. You know, there's even, you know, man, just stuff there's plenty of work that I've done over the years that's out there.
Busy.
It just might not have been front paged. You know what I'm saying? But I stand by all of it. It's all what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just like
and
this,
it's all
this
authentic Dres. It's
no doubt.
He's not bending it to the times or whatever. It's all authentic, all him, all his style. Just now, you know what I'm saying? And you did a great job over. I want to say you did a wonderful job over the time, still staying true to your original style, but bringing your original style and updating it as you going along. You've done a great job with that, and I have to applaud you for that. Because
I appreciate that sincerely.
Not everybody gets that down too well.
some don't. I know exactly what you're saying, and you know, I was very conscious of it to say, but you know, like at the end of the day, like, you know, I've always been a student of the music, and I've always been young in the music.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So you know, I've been able to follow, you know, where it's at and where I stand next to where it's at.
Right.
So you know, but I think that also comes with life experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because in life, you have to be able to look at where your peers are at and where you're at, and where
engage
they
it
might
appropriately.
Be going,
and
be
realistic about it. You know,
move accordingly.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't do what everybody else does.
I was just about to say everybody can't be the hottest thing out.
Right.
You just can't be. I know that's what you want.
And it's my word. Nah, but this is my word. Like, you know, like I've had the opportunity to be the hottest cat for this particular year or whatever. Yo, this is my word. Like, I'm so much happier, not that person. Like, you know, like I don't envy the cats that are, you know, in your face every day. And yeah, they might have 100 million.
Pressure.
But they also, like, you know, they can't scratch their ass in a supermarket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Without it being front page. And yo, this is my word. I don't envy that. I don't miss that. You know, I'm much happier having a career where, you know, where a dollar means something to me, you know what I'm saying? And but more than a dollar meaning something to me, my artistry means something to me.
I'm about
and more
to
than
say,
my artistry
it's made
means
with
something
purpose,
to me,
though.
my people means something to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's kept me grounded, you know, and I'm very appreciative of that, because you know, I've had my ups and downs in life, and I know, you know, how I can be given a ton of liberty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know,
it also be
it's
your
good
own
that I did
demise
have.
at times.
At times it can
I've
be,
been there.
no doubt. You know, I mean, but
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
You know? But it's also the jewel. The jewel is also, but recognizing, you know, like
that's right.
In moderation, everything is good. You know what I'm saying? But you know, excessively, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it ain't about sometimes being the most powerful. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot that comes with.
Yeah. Sometimes your saving grace is just being the most diverse person in the room, or being you know, the most adaptable person in the room. It's not always about being the king. That's okay. It's not always about being king of the hill, you know. Sometimes your versatility, your adaptation, you know, to being able to just kind of swing with how things are going. Don't take that for granted. There's a lot of people who can't do that.
Without question.
There's a lot of people who can't do that. There's a lot of people who will come off the hinges if any one thing changes in their life.
This is true.
That's a blessing.
You know what
and
I'm saying?
It's such a blessing for an artist to have, because it kind of navigates them through so much BS.
No doubt.
I ain't gonna say nothing else about that because I don't
I
want them
feel you.
coming for me.
I feel you.
Before we get
Facts.
out of here, I just want to definitely reiterate that there is some new music coming.
Yes.
I've
This
already
summer.
heard it.
All right.
We've also had a preview to some of the tracks in our DJ mix. But why don't you just let them know one more time about what we can expect?
Okay, well, check it out. You got D&D is the name of the project. D&D stands for Dilla and Dres. And the name of the album's called No Words. Be out this summer. Like I said, I got some amazing features, man. Like I said, from Bun B to Freeway to Chuck D to CeeLo Green to Jay Sands to Chi Ali to Myson to Afro to Lil D to Source Money. I mean, like, yo, the project is Delta Homo Hope, the funky Homo sapien is on there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my dude from the very first tour I ever did. Like, you know, like so many dope, just a variety of just dope cats and artistic cats, and all of it produced by Jay Dilla. So you know, it's a very special project, and definitely every hip hop head is going to be appreciative, and you're going to walk away from it feeling good. It's a feel good project. It's an empowering project. You're going to be smarter because of it. You know what I'm saying? And
Nice.
you know,
And I love that this generation. I'm sad that it had to happen in this way, but I love that this younger generation is getting to be introduced to Jay Dilla in such a wonderful light. One of my former guests, Afro, we started off the season with Afro, and
that's what's up.
yeah,
Dope MC.
and that
Amazing.
happened. We found out that Jay Dilla had passed right around the same time that we were doing the taping. So it was a very emotional moment, you know, talking about Jay Dilla because it was very fresh. But he also had did very early on a mixtape that was just like him, you
Really
know,
dope.
him with Jay Dilla
Yeah.
and MF Doom, and you know, and so it's
Bless
so
him.
great that this generation is getting to understand these people. You know,
Right.
MF Doom and Jay Dilla, you know, they don't understand that they've been listening to Jay Dilla productions and they had no clue. You
From the
understand
door.
what I mean?
From the door. Yeah,
From
no
the
doubt.
door.
No doubt.
Had no clue. So I'm so
Yeah.
grateful that people like you are bringing this to light, and it's a reintroduction.
Big shout
And
to
it's
my Duke
also a
for, you know what I'm saying,
reintroduction
for
for
real, for real.
us, you know? It's definitely a
Right.
reintroduction for us because there was a quiet time in between, you know, the height of Jay Dilla and then us losing Jay Dilla. So
Right.
it's also a reintroduction for us. Like, yes, I
Right. No
remember
doubt.
that. Yes, I remember.
All right.
You know?
All right. Yo,
And just like they
I'm
need
looking
to be
forward.
educated, we need to be reminded.
Right. I feel that.
We need to
I
be
feel that.
reminded. I am just so grateful that we got to build like this. This will
Me too.
definitely not be the last time that we are
We got to
talking.
do it again when the project comes out.
Absolutely. Before we go, just please reiterate the project and let everybody know where they can keep up with you.
Yo, check it out. D&D, Dilla and Dres, No Words, coming this summer. If you want to stay in touch with Dres, Black Sheep Dres at IG, and on Twitter, Dres Black Sheep. All right, Black Sheep Dres on IG, Dres, Black Sheep Dres on IG, and Dres Black Sheep on Twitter. All right, yo, and love is love. And you can catch me at poolofgenius.com if you want to check any of my projects out, videos, and or some merch.
So
Word
I
up.
definitely have a lot of the new music in store for you guys, but I have to get permission first. So as soon as I'm able to, you know, drop whatever I can drop, it will definitely be all over the House of Hip Hop's playlist. We
That's what's
are
up.
just so excited that not only are you out and about, you've kept yourself very busy, very relevant, but now we have something to look forward to for the summertime, baby.
All right, no doubt. Let's get it.
Thank
Yo,
you
thanks
so
so much for having me. I
Oh
really
my God, this
appreciate
was
it.
such a great build. Like I said, we'll be definitely doing this again once the project come out. Please,
Sounds good.
everybody, support. Go follow Dres. Please go to Pool of Genius and check out some of the other great, you know, projects he has there. Man, this was great. I'm gonna sleep great tonight.
That's what's up.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much for
Well,
joining me.
definitely a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Be blessed.
Salute to
Love is love.
MJ. You know,
Salute
I
to
swear to
MJ. No
God,
doubt.
you need a kidney, a spleen. I don't need
Yo,
it. Take
MJ
it.
is the one. You know what I'm saying? MJ's the one. She's good
Just
people.
take it, MJ.
Word
I'll
up.
give you whatever. You want
Big
this
salute.
front tooth? Take it. I
All
love
right.
you. Thank
Big
y'all
salute
so
to you
much.
as well.
Thank
Word
y'all
up.
so much for joining us. We'll be back again next week for another dope episode. And by the way, the House of Hip Hop t-shirts are available. Make sure you
Ow.
DM me, email me. Come get your shit, please. I love y'all. Peace.